Hi, and welcome every one of you. So glad to see you again. Want to quickly just look at what we have today without wasting much time, because we have a lot of questions to solve in order to understand fully the concept of shares. As you can see on the board, shares arise as a result of companies that are looking for money to run their businesses, and in order to save them some stress and all that, they look for people to invest in them by buying shares. All right, and when you buy a share, you become a part holder, okay, or a part owner, or even what they call shareholders of that company. All right, now these shares you are buying, they have what they call the nominal values. All right, they are usually issued in a term called nominal values, but I want you to call it, not call it, but view it as a name. Okay, that's why I underline it. It's not a technical name. I am the one giving it that name to help you to understand this concept of shares, because many people find it difficult to differentiate between the monetary value and the market value. So the nominal value are always in whole number. All right. Instead of quoting a shares, or rather, instead of issuing a share at 0.25 naira, we can just quickly convert 0.25 naira to kobo and say it is 25 kobo shares. All right. So they don't issue shares in decimal or fraction value, and they usually contain units of money also. So that's why I say view the shares. View the nominal value as are the names of the shares. All right. So apart from the nominal value, which is also expressed in monetary form, we also have another thing expressed in monetary form, which is the actual value of that share. All right. So when you see 1 naira shares at 4 naira, okay, that sets confusion for some people. So when I view that $1 as a name, then of course I now know that the $4 is the value or the cost of the share. Okay, just like saying 1 yam at $4. Okay, so I'll say 1 naira at 4 naira, or $1 at $4, and all that. So that's how it is. So the second monetary value you see here is the cost of that particular shares. All right. What usually happens is that when you buy both the nominal value, then of course we say that the shares is at their premium. All right. So if a share has a premium of 5, it means that it is 5 above the nominal value. And if a share has a discount of 3, it means that it is 3 below the nominal value. So if nominal value is 70, that means it is 67. That is the price of the shares. Now that's why it is 3 below. So when you buy at the nominal value, of course, we say it is the par value. So what happened now is at the end of the year, when this company are now trying to wrap up for that year and they have made profit, if they make profit, because it's possible that they may not make profit. All right. So if they actually make profit, they will not decide what fraction of their earnings should be paid as dividend to shareholders. All right. And of course, dividend is expressed as a fixed price. Okay, it's expressed as a fixed price per share, so it's always expressed per share, or it can be expressed as a percentage of the nominal value. So please take note of this dividend formula. We'll make use of it a lot. All right. So most of the time, I'm just going to say it because it has been written here already. So these shareholders are receiving their dividend at the end of the year may want to find out, is this investment worthwhile, or should I sell off my investment and use the money for something else? So of course, they want to calculate their percentage profit, which is like the percentage, which is the yield now. We'll call it percentage return on dividend, or we'll call it rate, or we'll call it yield. All right. So I take the same formula from percentage profit, which is like dividend over investment, which is the cost price, then multiply by 100. Now we see some statements like this in different questions that has to do with shares. You see 4,000, for instance, 4,000 MTN, 2 naira shares at 5 naira. Wow, you become confused. That's why I say I mentioned name at the other time. It's not a technical name, quite alright, but it's to help you. So this can be viewed as 4,000 MTN rice. You see that if I replace this 2 naira now with rice, it serves as the name 4,000 MTN rice at 5 naira. So this is the cost price. Alright, so however, this is the nominal value. It's called nominal value once again. So, but you should not confuse it because the name of the company is MTN. 4,000 is the number of shares you are buying. So you are buying 4,000 rice. Alright. So sometimes it can also be 4,000 MTN, 150 kobo, anyone they use. This is the actual price of the shares you are buying, and this is like the name. This is like the name of the shares you are buying. What is called the nominal value. And of course, the market value of the cost price is 5 naira. So let's look at example number 1. Alright, so example 1, we are asked that a woman bought 5,000, of course that's the number, the company is next to, and the name of the business is 1 naira, that's the name of the shares, but that's the nominal value. So a woman bought 5,000 next to 1 naira shares at 80 kobo each. Find the amount she paid for the shares. So she's already buying at a discount of 20. Okay, so we're now looking for the cost price. Alright, so number of shares N is equals to 5,000. Alright, the cost price per share is equals to 0.8 naira if I convert the 80 kobo to naira. Alright, that's the cost price per share. Then the cost price, of course, is going to give us the number of the shares she's buying multiplied by the cost price per share. And what we have? We have 5,000, alright, multiplied by 0.8. And of course, we end up having our cost price is equals to 4,000 naira. So this is the cost price that she bought the shares. Is that taken? Alright, so question 2. Anita bought 4,000 ordinary shares. So number of shares is equals to 4,000 ordinary shares. That's the name of the shares of a company at the total cost of, so the total cost price, so the cost price is equals to 20,000 naira. That is the total cost price, not the cost price per share. Everything, when you multiply the number of shares times the cost price per share. If each share is now worth this amount of money, 8 naira, so the selling price now per share, selling price per share is equals to 8 naira. We are not told the cost price per share when she bought it. Just give us the total cost price. How much profit will she make? Okay, we are talking about if she sell off her investment now, how much profit will she make? Because she may want to sell off if she's no longer interested in the company. So this is the selling price per share, 8 naira, and of course, what is the selling price? Selling price for everything is going to give us the number of shares she bought multiplied by the selling price per share. Alright, to give us 4,000, the number of shares multiplied by 8, and of course, we have the selling price SP is equals to 32,000 naira. And of course, profit is equals to SP, selling price minus the cost price. And of course, your guess is as good as mine, 32,000 minus 20,000. What do we have? We end up having 12,000 naira. So as the profit she will make by selling off. Hope that is well explained. Question 3. A shareholder obtained a dividend of 520 naira. So the dividend, everything, not the dividend per share, is 520 naira. Alright. So the cost price per share, so of, this is the name of the share, of a 1 naira shares quoted at 150 kobo. So 150 kobo is the cost price. Alright, so 150 kobo is the cost price per share. Okay, and I'll call it 1.5 naira because I'm working in naira. Alright, so how many shares must she buy? So the number of shares is unknown. Must she buy if the dividend declared is 6.5%? Alright, so dividend declared is 6.5%. What is dividend? Now dividend is equals to percentage of what? Nominal value. Alright, and nominal value is for 1 because you can see nominal value there for 1. So once you have the nominal value for 1, they multiply by the number of this thing of shares you want to buy. That will give you a total dividend. Alright, without this one, without this n here, you'll be having the dividend per share. Is that taken? Alright, so when you substitute, you're going to have dividend has been given. Total dividend is 520. Is equals to nominal value is 1. So percentage is 6.5%, which is as 13 over 100 multiplied by 1, okay, and n. So we now have 520 is equals to 13n over 100. So this is over 200, and when we cross multiply, we have 13n is equals to 520 multiplied by 200, and n is equals to 520 multiplied by 200 divided by 13. So our n is equals to 8,000 number when we use our calculating device. Question B, what are we asking? Question B, what is the cost price of the shares? Alright, the cost price of the shares, okay, cost price is equals to the number of shares she has multiplied by what? The cost price per share. Alright, so 8,000 multiplied by the cost price per share is what? 1.5 is already here, 1.5 naira. Okay, and that will give us 12,000 naira. So you can see that this topic is a very interesting one, very simple. Alright, let's look at the next question. Question 4. It says, what is the percentage yield? Alright, that is the rate on investment on 1,150 kobo shares at 85 kobo with a dividend of 15%. Alright, so that's the question. So what do we do here? Just define your yield. Our yield is equals to our dividend, okay, all over cost price or all over investment multiplied by 100. Alright, so inside this formula now you need to find your dividend and your cost price. That is the implication. Alright, because our ultimate goal is to find the yield. So dividend, we know our dividend is equals to what? A percentage of the nominal value. What's the nominal value now? They say nominal value is 0.5, 50 kobo, that's the name of the share, 50 kobo shares. So that's the nominal value. So we now say percentage of it will give us 15 over 100 multiplied by 0.5. This is for 1, okay? This is for 1. So I'll call it dividend per share. This is for 1. And of course, when we solve this, we are going to have it as 0.075 naira per share. Okay? So this is what I told you. Sometimes they put it this way, so they are only giving us extra work. Now, sometimes they will give you your dividend in this manner as a fixed price per share. Alright, so most of the questions we are doing is already in a more difficult way in percentage. We'll convert to this and now proceed to do other calculation. So that implies that our dividend now is this amount multiplied by total number. So you now say n into dividend per share, and that will give us number is 1150 multiplied by 0.075. Okay, so what do we have? Our dividend is about 86.25. So that is our dividend, 86.25 naira. Okay, so after obtaining your dividend, what are we asked to find again? Okay, with the dividend of this, okay, 50 kobo shared at 85 kobo with a dividend of 15%. What percentage yield? So now say our yield, okay, is now our dividend, okay, which we have defined all over our cost price. So what is the cost price? Our dividend is 86.25, and our cost price, what's our cost price? If you look here, we are told 85 kobo, and 85 kobo is the cost price per 1, but you have to multiply by n, the number, to have the total cost price. So now have 1150 multiplied by 0.85 and converting to naira. 85 kobo is equal to 0.85. Okay, and of course, what do we do? We now say 86.25 divided by 1150 multiplied by 0.85. That is what you do, and that will give you your answer as about 8.8%. So the yield is approximately equals to 8.8% to 1 GP. Okay, so that's taken right. We'll go to number 5 rather. Question 5. It says Zenith Bank 5 naira shares. That's the name of the shares. Zenith Bank rice are quoted at 20 naira. Okay, but it's not rice now. Zenith Bank is a very big bank. Okay, a giant bank in Africa. Okay, they have branches all over the world. Okay, so Zenith Bank 5 naira shares are quoted at 20 naira and declared a dividend of 25%. So the dividend they declared 25% at the end of the year. Alright, how much will it cost an investor to buy 600 shares, and how much dividend will he receive? So that is what we have here. So the cost price per share is how much? Quoted at is 20 naira per share. So that is the cost price for one of the general bank district. Then the dividend per share, the dividend per share will give us percentage of the nominal value. Remember that the nominal value is 5. That is the name of the share. Okay. So when we do that, we're going to have 25%, 25 over 100 multiplied by the nominal value, which is 5. Okay. And of course, what we have, the dividend for one share is going to give us 1.25. Alright, so that dividend for one of the shares. So what is our N? Our N is equal to 600. And what is our cost price? Our cost price, that implies that our cost price now, okay, the cost price is going to give us N multiplied by the cost price per share. Okay, and that is going to give us 600 multiplied by the cost price per share is 20. Okay, and of course we're going to have it as 12,000 naira as the cost price. So this is the cost price, and of course they ask us for the dividend. So we already have our dividend per what? Per share. So our dividend, okay, is going to give us the number of shares you bought, then multiplied by the cost for or the profit from one dividend per share. That will give us number is 600 multiplied by 1.25 naira. Therefore, our dividend will give us how much now? Help me, 750 naira. Alright, so you can see that this is an interesting topic, very simple, very straightforward. Alright, so let's look at question 6. In question 6, we are told that NJ sold 8,500 shares in Dangote Cement through her broker. Okay, a broker is an agent, alright? Alright, in the stock exchange, okay? So if the broker sold each of them at 8 naira, so each of them at 8 naira, so that is the selling price per one, so selling price per share is equals to 8 naira. Are you with me? And charge 5,000 naira, so that is the charge. How much did she receive? So NJ want to sell off her this thing, the numbers of shares she has with Dangote Cement. So the numbers of shares she has is 8,500. So the selling price per one is 8,000 now. It's not how much she bought it. The selling price for one now is this. Okay, so that implies that total selling price, alright, is going to give us the number she has multiplied by the selling price per share. Okay, that will give us 8,500 multiplied by 8, and of course total money the broker will sell it is 68,000 naira. So this is the total money the broker will sell for NJ shares, alright. So but he charges 5,000 naira, so now say the net money that we remitted to NJ is going to give us 68,000 naira, okay, minus 5,000 naira. And what do we have? Of course, you know the answer is 63,000 naira. So you can see how simple shares are. So don't mind those bogus things that is going to confuse you and not make it to look as if it's difficult. It's a very simple topic. Okay, let's look at the next question. Question 7. Alright, we are told that a man bought 480 1 naira shares. So like a man bought 480 banana, a man bought 480 biscuit at this amount of money. Okay, so you can see that the nominal value is 1 naira, while the cost price, which is the market value, is 1.25 naira. So I will now say the cost price per share is equals to 105, which then has 1.25 naira. Okay, and of course we are told that how many N is equal to 480. The number is equal to 480. The number of shares the man bought is 480. So percentage dividend is what? 8%. How much will he receive? How much who will receive? It's talking about the man. And of course, when you read this question very well, it's talking about the dividend that the man will receive. Alright, so the dividend declared is 8%. How much will the man receive? So they are giving 8% dividend, and they want to convert that 8% dividend to money based on the numbers of shares the man has. So remember that our dividend is same thing as percentage of the nominal value, percentage of nominal. Alright. Okay, so multiply nominal value per 1 share, then multiply by the numbers of shares. Alright, that is our dividend. So they declared 8%. Okay, they declared 8% dividend. So that's what they declared. So it's going to give us 8% is going to give us 100. Nominal value is what? What is nominal value? Nominal value is 1. That is the name of the shares. 1 multiplied by n, and of course our n 480. Alright, so this is our dividend, how much the man receive. And of course, if you simplify, that will give you 0.08 times 480. What do you have there, please? We are going to have 38.4 naira. So that is what the man we have as the total dividend. Of course, if you don't multiply by the n, you're just going to have the dividend per share. Okay, so please understand when you're having per share, when you're having for total of everything. So this is question A, which is what we just solved here. Question B, what is question B saying? Question B say, what rate is this on the sum invested? So rate is the same thing as yield, remember, and the same thing as percentage yield on investment, which is dividend. Okay, the dividend divided by the cost price, total cost price, okay, multiplied by 100 over 1. So the dividend is 38, that's total dividend. So if you are in other words, if you are using the dividend per share, you also have to use the cost price per share. So it's also give you the same answer. So if you are using total dividend, you must also use total cost price. Okay, so that will give us 38.4. Okay, divided by the cost price. Look at the cost price per share, 1.25. How many did they buy? The number is 480. So remember to put your listing. Don't just and put the cost. That's why I am giving the cost price per share to remind me when I want to substitute. I don't make mistake. Alright, so I'm going to have it as 480. 480 into 1.25. Okay, multiplied by 100 over 1. So this is our rate or our yield. And of course, when we simplify with a calculating device, we have 6.4% rate. So this is very poor from this company, because in a whole year 6.4%. If you divide by 12 to get money, it's going to be about 0.5% per month. That's too poor. Okay, question 8. Alright, question 8 says, what rate on the sum invested is obtained by the purchase of 5.5% preference share at 90 kobo? If you look at this question 8, we are not given the nominal value, okay, but we are given the percentage. So you may say, what is, how will I find the dividend and all that? But look up here, say what rate, asking for rate. So just define your rate first of all before you murmur. Rate is same thing as what? Our dividend. Okay, our dividend divided by what? The cost price multiplied by 100. So if you're using the dividend per share, of course you're going to use the cost price per share. So what I mentioned earlier, and of course I didn't even remember and explain that here now. Okay, so I mentioned it without even knowing that this question will carry it. So our rate now is, our dividend is 5.5%. 5.5% as what? If we convert, we're going to give you a 11 over 200. So 11 over 200 is our dividend division. This division line divided by, and notice that since I started teaching you, I normally separate multiple fractions in order not to confuse you. 90 kobo is the same thing as, which is the cost price per share. It is the same thing as 0.9. So or you can say 0.9 naira. So they are multiplied by 100, which is outside. Okay, so our rate now will now give us 11 over 200, a division done to multiplication, and of course you invert 1 all over 0.9. And when you finish up this with your calculating device, what do you have? What do you have? What do you have? So the rate, okay, is going to give me approximately 86.11%. Please confirm this. Okay, so that is the rate on that question. And of course, question 9 now, which is going to be the last question on this episode. Question 9. In question 9, we are told that Booker buys ordinary $1 shares of a company for $2. All right. So this is the name of the shares. $1 is the name of the shares. Ordinary $1 shares is the name of the shares. Okay. Calculate the percentage yield on his investment if a dividend of 5% is declared. Percentage yield is just similar to the question we just finished solving now. So the cost price per share is equals to $2. Okay. And what is yield? Our yield is defined as the dividend, okay, divided by the cost price multiplied by 100. Now, if they give you dividend per share, you have to use it with cost price per share. If they give total dividend, you have to use it with total cost price. Alright, so we are giving here, this is if dividend declared is 5%, so this 5% is the dividend per share. Alright, that is what we have. So that's what we have, and of course our cost price per share is that is the cost price, because this is the name, this other one is the name of the share, which is the nominal value. Okay, is that taken? So even if you convert your listing to that, you are still going to arrive at the same thing. So our, what they call it now, our dividend, our yield is equals to dividend is 5%, which is 5 over 100. All right. Now let's say you may even want to say you want to find your dividend. It's still possible for you to find your dividend. All right. If you want to find your dividend, if you want to convert it to money, your dividend will now give you dividend is equals to percentage of the nominal value, which is 5 over 100 times what is the nominal value? The nominal value is 1, so you end up having 0.05. Okay. Alright, so there are many ways to think depending on what you are thinking. So but I'm just giving you the background approach about it. So that implies that our yield now will now give us, remember this is dividend per share, not just the dividend alone. Please take note of that. I like to separate some of these things, alright, so that it don't confuse students, or I will not also make mistake while solving. So that is the dividend per share. 0.05 naira is the dividend per share. So now the yield now give us the dividend per share, which is 0.05 divided by the cost price per share also. Once again, remember, if you are using per share, just like the principle of uniformity, they must be uniform. So if you are using total dividend, use the total cost price. If you are using dividend per share, use the cost price per share also. And when we finish up this, we are going to have our yield or our rate or percentage yield on investment to be 2.5%. All right. Well, I'm sure that you have seen that this is a very simple topic because of the approach I have taken. All right, calling the nominal value names, viewing the nominal value as a name. All right, so that I can be able to demarcate, distinguish it from the market price. All right, and of course, when I'm giving my dividend, I always try to revert back to my name, which is the nominal value, to calculate the dividend per share, which I can now use to calculate total dividend as the case may be, or also solve for problems like looking for the rate or the yield. Alright, so this is how questions on shares normally appear in the WAEC scheme of work. Alright, so feel free to leave your comments behind, and of course I'll give you feedback on every comment you left behind on this channel. Alright, so I hope you have understood the concept or an explanation behind shares and should be able to solve problems. Alright, so in order to test your understanding, I have some questions for you. Alright, some practice questions. The answers are already there. So these are practice questions for you. So you solve and of course confirm the answers you have with what is here. Alright, have you learned something from this video? Please, if you do, recommend this video to people that will also that are also looking for study material or a revision material to help them to prepare for their exam or to improve in their abilities in solving questions in mathematics. This is a very handy material that can actually explain, alright, that will help those who are weak. Now, one of the advantages of this material is that you study at your pace, all right? And you can always rewind, all right, and listen over to the teacher again and understand some concepts or from things you don't understand. So that is one of the basic advantage of this video, all right? Second advantage is that you have been exposed to questions, all right, that are drawn from different examination bodies. And that third advantage is the approach used in solving problems here, all right? So I take a simplified version, all right, while still keeping the technicalities or the content, to standard. For instance, in this shares now, I have asked you to view the nominal value as a name in order to help you to understand the concept of shares, the explanation behind shares. Alright, so it is wonderful having you guys listening to me once again, and I am proud having you guys listening. Okay, so we're going to call it a day at this point. We are going to wrap up this series in the next 1 or 2 videos, which I will be sending to you guys. Thank you very much once again. Please, if you are not subscribed, do well to subscribe, especially if this video was actually helpful. Thank you very much. It is a goodbye from me till we meet again next time.